Hey guys, Basement Breakdown here. We are back with a new video. I've got myself a mic, as you can see, so you can hear me a little bit clearer. We will be giving you guys some more Championship 1 predictions. We've got Lumpinee 135 coming up this Friday. We do not have any UFC this week. There is a bit of a hiatus, little unfortunate. We did pretty well last week on our predictions for UFC Fight Night Qatar, Arman Tsarukyan versus Dan Hooker, where Arman Tsarukyan ended up submitting Dan Hooker in the second round. I believe I said third. We made some money on the card. I'll put up some of my some of the stuff on FanDuel. I was one. I think it was Kakera. I think I put it over like 0.5 rounds, and that was the last leg on my parlay, which was like an 8-legger, which I only had like a couple bucks on, but it was. Yeah, I was a little upset about that. That didn't hit, but that guy sucks. Regardless, we're looking to make more money this week, and as always, we are joined by the gambling phenom Bruce. Take us away. Good luck, and let's go.
Again, everybody, I'm going to be breaking down the One Friday Fights 135 card for everyone again, and let's get into it. Anyways, for the first bout, we're going to skip it for now, just because I would like to see the face-offs first, and I don't really trust either the MMA fighters. They're both quite low level, they're both quite bummy. This is even worse than this is lower than Cage Warriors, or lower than anything that you've ever seen, really. So, we're going to skip the first fight, because the Indian could win. He's not actually an Indian. You can see from his face that he's not actually an Indian. And the Japanese fighter in this first bout could win by triangle off his back, or some submission off his back. But at the end of the day, yeah, both men are horrendous, and I would not bet on this. So I'm going to go straight into bout 2, and bout 2 I already know. Bout 2, we have an MMA bout between Chayan Oorzhak and Imran Satiev. My prediction here from a couple weeks ago is Imran Satiev. This is a rebooked fight that got cancelled 2 or 3 weeks back. Anyways, my confidence rating for this is 65% to 70%. And I'm staying with the same pick that I had 3 or 4 weeks ago. My risk assessment for this is that this fight is mid. And it could end in a KO submission or decision. All 3 outcomes are possible, and I don't really know which one it will end up as, because I'm going to get into it now. Anyways, my prediction here is Imran Satiev, by the way. All right, Chayan Oorzhak, he is 9-3 professionally. Oorzhak has power in his punches and knees and kicks. He is not the wrestler in this matchup. He throws quite a bit of power in his punches, but his striking is quite visible, especially when the fight goes on longer. But his opponent isn't the best striker in the world, nor does he have very good head movement. Oorzhak has knees that can connect up high, especially if he clinches, and he has head kicks that put men to sleep. This is one fighter that since the start of his career so far, I've never been wrong betting on him or against him. I hope it doesn't change this weekend, because I'm betting against him here, but he has the ability to win here. He has wrestling ability, but his opponents seem to be able to get out from underneath him pretty easily. If he can counter wrestle his upcoming opponent, he has a huge chance to win. He can connect with his knees on the way up, yeah, if his opponents are escaping his wrestling. And I have to admit, his wrestling isn't as good as Imran Satiev's, but it may be good enough to avoid him in the later rounds. I'm not sure. Because Satiev does slow down. Anyways, I have seen him losing the wrestling game against Carlo Bamina Ang, who's a heavy-handed fighter that we bet against 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. Anyways, we bet on Carlo Bamina Ang many times to win as well. Carlo usually controls people with his pure strength, and the fight could play out the same way it did with Carlo, where Carlo submitted Oorzhak. I think it probably will. I think Oorzhak has ways to win this fight, but I don't think as the fight goes on there'll be enough to avoid the clinch of Imran Satiev. Even Ali clinched Oorzhak for prolonged periods of time against the ropes, which, yeah, it's not good. I think if Satiev clinches, he would try awkward takedown, or he'll stick a leg in to trip Oorzhak to the floor. From there, the possibilities are all 3, and I don't know which outcome it could be. Oorzhak is tough, but 15 minutes, if he's on the floor for most of the time, he will lose inside the distance. If it's a striking affair for half of each round, because Satiev can't control him, he probably goes the distance. Anyways, yeah, let's get on to Imran. Imran Satiev, he has a 5-0 professional record. He won his last fight against Duzakar Eskiev via split decision robbery, where he landed 2 takedowns in round 1 and proceeded to use only clinch and low output striking for the rest of the match, failing all of his other takedown attempts, which were at least 4 of them throughout the fight. And yeah, Eskiev should have won this fight as an underdog. This was a pretty bad robbery. Duzakar was on his back all 3 rounds at certain points of the fight, but he is strong. He manages to get up off the floor in all his pro fights. But being on your back is not good, man. I don't like to see a turtle. He does not like 15 minutes. His gas tank is not good, and his striking precision and output decreases dramatically after round 1. Going from a striker, like a solid striker in round 1, or okay striker, let's say, not solid, to a man who attempts takedowns, either securing the takedown or ends up in clinch against the ropes or in the corner, firing off knees to the legs and body for points. In his amateur career, he was submitted and cut by a cut UFC prospect, we all know him, named Mohammed Makayev. But that was 7 years ago, and he was 19 or 20 back then. He's now 26 today, and the hopes would be that he's working on his issues with his gas tank, but I don't trust this man to do that personally. I don't know if he is. His takedowns can be clean early, but usually as the fight progresses, they get worse. And also as the fight goes on, it just gets worse. The competition he has fought is not very high, but the reason he wins most of his fights, that's the reason why he wins most of his fights. Any real competition like Eskiev will give him a run for his money, like Eskiev did. Eskiev should have won. If this man is to win, he'll probably look for a takedown in round 1 and see if he can ground and pound a victory. There is a possibility for a sub-2, as his opponents has 2 submission losses. If he can't, it'll be a holding battle, and he may lose if he cannot land another takedown as the fight goes on after round 1. Like, he needs at least 1 takedown in round 1, 1 takedown in round 2 to win at least, or round 3, because in this game here they say as the fight goes on, it's not judged round by round. Anyways, I don't think I'm not sure if he has the better striking. But I think that he might be big enough and strong enough just to try bombing away early and get lucky. These are low-level MMA fighters, like I said. He does have a chin. Does have a chin. Sorry, I might have got his name wrong. He does have a chin. I've never seen him KO'd. In his last fight, he ate a spinning heel kick to his head, to the side of his head, and it connected clean with no guard up. Like his hands were down. He firmed it, but it was a strike. That was a strike in round 3 from our opponent who was tired last fight. So maybe I don't know. Maybe if his opponent lands a knee or a head kick early, maybe he can seal the deal and put him to sleep. If he comes in looking like his last fight, he has a high chance of losing, and we are not here to try to lose. So if you want a small bet, place a small bet here. But I mean, I was gonna say maybe skip this fight, but don't skip it. Like, it's probably worth it. Yeah, it probably is worth it. Anyways, I saw the odds last week. It was 1.5. I'm not sure what they are this week. I haven't checked it yet. Anyways, Eskiev in the robbery loss had the control time and the striking. It was disgraceful to see. And it might put a lot of people into betting against Satiev, but we'll see. I honestly know that Satiev did not win that fight against Eskiev. Like, Eskiev did way more in that fight, but this is not an opponent like Eskiev at the end of the... this is not an opponent like Eskiev at the end of the day. He's fighting someone that's a lot lower level, so I think he should be able to beat him. We have a kickboxing bout between Payakrut and Kojiro Shiba. My prediction here is Kojiro Shiba will win. My confidence rating is 60%. My risk assessment for this is that this fight is a risk, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Payakrut, he has a record of 32 wins, 10 losses. He is 20 years old and standing at 5'6". He is a young Thai fighter who can knock down many fighters. He knocked down Kasan Sanamov but lost to him. He knocked down Abdusami Ranimi last fight and won via disqualification because he got kicked in the face twice on the floor. I'll admit we had Abdusami to win, and truthfully, I believe Abdusami was the better fighter. He probably would have won the fight as the fight went on. But if you watch the footage back, Payakrut was playing like a bitch. And this isn't me just being biased because I put money on a fighter and I told you guys to put money on a fighter. It's because at the end of the day, there's a lot of rigging and controversy in one, and Payakrut is a fighter that, hear this, he drops himself to the floor, and he did it over 8 times in this fight with Abdusami Ranimi. He dropped himself to the floor purposely after his kick was caught over 8 times to avoid a strike, like to avoid getting hit and countered, when his leg got caught. And bear in mind, he was 1 knocked down the head, so this is a very, it's a hole in the Muay Thai rule set, if you know what I mean. Like, this is a flaw in the rules of Muay Thai. And people use this to stay ahead when they have a knockdown. It's like how Dennis Purish, yeah, he got a knockdown early against Elias, yeah, and you know what he goes and starts doing? He starts going and turning his back, yeah, and getting hit in the back of the head, and the referee starts calling fouls for Elias, when in reality Dennis Purish is turning around in the heat of combat. You can't give the back of your head to your opponent, yeah, when you're getting hit in the face and then complain. Like, it's like you can't just drop your head, yeah, to ground level, yeah, and then just save yourself, yeah, and then complain when you get kicked in the face. It's a very, very, very foul tactic. And the truth is, people can blame Abdesami, people can say he deserves to get disqualified, this and that. The truth is, Payakrut was the bitch in the fight. It wasn't Abdesami. Any man would have head kicked you in the fucking face, you fall to the floor 10 times. He deserved it. He deserved to have his face broken in, and I wish he died in the ring. Anyways, where was I? And that's not me being cruel. I really wish that man died in the fucking ring. Anyways, like I said, it's a rule that people use. Like, it's something that people use. It's like a hole in the rule set to basically stay ahead when you have a knockdown in your advantage. I do not respect Payakrut as a fighter. He deserved to get head kicked last fight. He beat a Laos opponent named Kompoksai. Sorry, I was ranting for a little bit. I went off my script. Anyways, he beat a Laos opponent named Kompoksai for his only significant win in one. He won all 3 rounds and tried to get a finish, but the man from Laos had his moments where he actually hurt Payakrut. Payakrut won, of course, and we had him to win that fight, but he was not going to get the finish in that fight. Kompoksai has a little over a 2-to-1 ratio. He is not good, and Payakrut could not finish him, and well, that shows me the level that he's at. If he can knock down anyone, like Payakrut can really knock down anyone, but if you're good enough, you can knock him down back as the fight continues. Like I said, he dropped Kasan and Abdesami, but Abdesami was probably on his way back to getting a knockdown too. Kasan did get a knockdown back. He got like 2 or 3. Abdesami was going to get one back, but, well, Payakrut played like a bitch and deserved what he got. And he didn't deserve the win last fight. Anyways, Kojiro Shiba. He has a record of 11-2. He's 20 years old, standing at 5'4". He's very quick in the pocket and quite sharp. He's quite a sharp fighter, preferring to outpoint opponents with his jabs and kicks while staying safe in almost every exchange that he's in. His opponent competition level isn't very high, which worries me ever so slightly. He took his losses 2 years ago in his career and is now on a 9-fight winning streak against the most... he's now on a 9-fight winning streak. His most recent fight in round 2, he finished in round 2 after landing a vicious head kick that dropped his opponent. Then he patiently followed up his attack over the next 30 seconds, breaking Zhong Hyun-woo down. Topology states that Zhong Hyun-woo was KO'd in round 1. That is false. I watched the fight myself, and he was knocked out in round 2. Topology is wrong, so no one correct me, please. Anyways, I have seen Kojiro throw and land his head kick on more than one opponent now, finishing off Jamal Cooper in one with a head kick in round 3. But keep in mind, Cooper is not he's not 1-level talent. That man came from the MMA scene, actually, from fighting guys like Cody Durden outside the UFC. Anyways, if I was to find a level to put this man on, let's just say that he beat Pech Sirichai in round 1. Pech Sirichai beat Song Fan Kong, allegedly, and he fought men who Uri Ishii has fought in the past also, so he is dangerous, and in kickboxing gloves, he will be up every round unless Payakrut lands across that lands clean. Even then, Payakrut has limited weapons in kickboxing, so I have to lean towards the jab. But Payakrut has fought the better competition at the end of the day, but not in kickboxing. Kojiro Shiba can KO Payakrut, but I'd assume this ends in a decision. It's not out of this world that Kojiro gets a knockdown either. He's good at landing a head kick, and he's good at keeping people at bay. Landing strikes without getting hit can be very frustrating and demoralizing very quickly. Like, you try that for 1 round, you can't land 2 punches on a guy that's landing 20 on you, you're going to get knocked out by that guy because you don't want to be in there eating punches the whole time. You're going to be chasing, you're going to fall into a trap, you're going to get knocked out. So yeah, I got Kojiro Shiba, but my confidence isn't too high. I do think Kojiro is the better fighter everywhere in this fight, especially the fact that it's kickboxing, but like I said, Payakrut only needs 1 shot, and he done it to Abdesami, and he did it to Kasan. He knocked them both down. He would have lost to both of them, but he knocked them both down at the end of the day. You got to give him credit for that, and only for that. He's a bitch. 4, we have a Muay Thai women's fight between Olivia Dabrowski and Wang Xi-Ching. My prediction here is Wang Xi-Ching. My confidence rating is 55%. My risk assessment is that this fight is a risk. I'm going to be very quick about this one because I don't have too much footage on it, but I'll give you what I know. Anyways, Olivia Dabrowski, she's 16 years old. She has an unknown record, unknown height. As of right now, I'm going to check the face-offs to let me know who's bigger. I'll create another extra video for my friend who's running this channel, just to let you guys know everything that I think of the face-offs. Anyways, she is a young fighter from Poland with teep kicks, push moves, and an okay jab cross. Nothing special. She can use elbows, but I've seen her in a fight where she made a debut as a 14-year-old. She got cut pretty badly on her forehead and fought against lower level comp in a beginner's promotion, of course. The opponent, of course, was more experienced than her, but even despite that, she landed a knockout in her first ever win at 14 years old. But her opponent's level did not convince me. She has she has knockout power too. In small gloves, maybe that favors her, but I've seen her bleed and know that she can be hit. She will be fighting Wang, who's a Hong Kong champion in the women's 51 kg weight. She can catch Wang, but I don't know if she can drop Wang. Anyways, on to Wang Xiqing. Unknown record, age unknown, unknown height. From the footage I've seen of her, she seems to be the better fighter and has accomplished more between the fighters career-wise. Wang is technically decent and usually gets hit a lot less than she dishes out. She is good at throwing a strike and a kick right after. And she's good at, she's good at that. Nothing she does really impresses me, truthfully, but she will walk forward and attempt to follow her opponents. The thing I don't like about her is when she stalks her opponents, she walks into some punches. She doesn't cut off her opponent's exits very well with her kicks. She should be more durable, I assume, in this matchup. She's also good at looping her punches over her opponents while avoiding the majority of damage that's coming at her while dishing out firm power. She isn't the most aggressive fighter, but she is, I'd assume, the more composed fighter in this matchup. I just hope that this Polish girl isn't some kind of female prodigy. My confidence isn't that high in this fight. It's worth skipping, to be completely honest, but I'm still going to bet here. Not much though, so be careful where you place your money at the end of the day, lads. And I don't have much footage on us of either of them, so I can't really give you the most detailed breakdown. I do think that Wang is the better fighter, and don't confuse her with Xiqing Phoebe Low. She's not related. She might be. I don't think she is though, and it's not the same person. Wang Xiqing is not Phoebe Low. Anyways, on to the next fight. We have a Muay Thai bout between Tom Keogh and Mahan Futuhi. My prediction here is Tom Keogh will win. My confidence rating is 65%. Or 65 to 70. Anyways, my risk assessment for this is that this fight is mid. Let's get into it. Tom Keogh, I think I'm pronouncing that right, I don't know. Anyways, apparently his record is 16-3 as of his pro career, but he lost his first ever 6 amateur bouts in his career before winning and improving drastically. He is on at least a 5-fight winning streak right now. I can't find any more wins or losses in order, but his most impressive win is over Nathan Bendon, who's a one fighter that fought Seksan and Elbrus Osmanov, although he lost to both of them. Tom Keogh was undoubtedly the underdog going into this 5-round matchup between him and the accredited fighter from the UK. He beat Nathan via a round 3 KO with his straight boxing and pressure. He stayed very composed, throwing jabs and crosses, keeping his guard tight, walking down his opponent. If his opponent pressured him back, he will stay disciplined and teep and kick and control the space between his opponent and him. I think that Tom is way better than his upcoming opponent, technically, and much more composed. If he comes into this fight, he won't be scared of the punching power. He knows that on the feet, his composure will win the fight. A good cross down the middle a couple of times, and his teep kicks will wear down his opponent. Plus, when you add in the fact that his clinch game is only utilized to create space or land an elbow, then push away so he can utilize his long limbs. For his snapper-style boxing, you kind of realize he's better everywhere than Mahan, and he should have that advantage in every area that this fight rarely goes to, apart from power. Anyways, Mahan Futuhi. Unknown record, fights not the best competition, and even when fighting not the best competition, he seems to get stumbled or dropped or rocked pretty easy. Well, I'm not going to say pretty easily, it was one fight that I saw, but he gets rocked by men more durable and composed than himself, which he's going to come up against right now. He has he is a guy that the teep kick will find a mark on. His cardio isn't that good despite his clips of him running on Instagram and YouTube. He has power, and I've seen him land a spinning elbow on Emerson Bento, but I doubt he will land one on Tom. I'll give the power in the hands of Mahan. I'll give the power in the hands to Mahan, And the fact that Mahan has fought with no gloves and wraps before means that he'll be more used to these small gloves. The thing is, cardio, skill, and speed all go to Tom. And Tom is the more composed and great distance manager at the end of the day. So as the fight goes on, I think Mahan fades and Tom KOs him possibly. I think Mahan has fought in more prestigious arenas, but in my opinion has not fought the better opponents. He lost to an old Cambodian, getting dropped, and then he rematched 1 month later, getting a KO win over him in the third. His boxing has power, and if you are not focused in the ring, he will catch your chin and rock the fuck out of you. So Tom needs to stay fully focused and composed. I'm mainly scared of the fact that Tom can be dropped, but Tom is the better fighter in my opinion, and he works well going forward and back. Mahan relies on his boxing and hooks, and at the end of the day, the height advantage will go to Tom, I believe, which gives him a major advantage when on the back foot in this fight. The teep kicks will start to add up over time on Mahan's gut, and Mahan does have quite a little bit of a gut, so yeah, the teep kick is a big weapon that's going to keep picking at him, and just, yeah, literally all Tom's got to do, keep chopping away at him until this man doesn't want it no more than finish him, literally. So we have a bantamweight kickboxing bout between Lamna Moonlek and Javier Galvez. My prediction here is Lamna Moonlek. My confidence rating is 70%. My risk assessment is that this fight is mid, possibly safe. Lamna Moonlek, he has 103 wins, 30 losses. He has 2 fights and 1 against the same man named Konsuk. I originally bet Konsuk over Lamna Moonlek in the first fight because Lamna Moonlek was new to the small gloves. Konsuk only won because he landed a knockdown shot. If he did not land that knockdown shot, he would have lost the fight. In the rematch, I took Lamna Moonlek because it was an instant rematch. And, well, yeah, because I took Lamna Moonlek, I won as well. So I won on both their fights. I literally took Lamna Moonlek because I knew he'd be better if he did, as long as he doesn't get knocked down. Lamna Moonlek is a great fighter, and most of his fights have been in kickboxing gloves. He proved to me that he can go 3 rounds with ease when he fought a Jap named Hiroki Kasahara in literally the kickboxing rule set. He didn't just go 3 rounds, he went an extra 2 rounds in Japan, aka Robbery Central, where he beat the piss out of Hiroki Kasahara, but the filthy Japanese judges gave Hiroki the win. And yeah, anyways, Lamna Moonlek clearly won that fight. He was better everywhere, and he is an animal who you can count on if he's down a round or has a close round. He refuses to let fights get away from him, using his forward pressure, teeps and leg kicks to off-balance and drop people with his boxing. He may play the point game early with Javier, and I assume he is the sharper fighter early, but Javier is also good in round 1. If Javier lands more or tries to pressure Lamna Moonlek in round 1, he can. And Lamna Moonlek won't be stupid. Lamna Moonlek is going to chop his thin legs out at the calf behind the knee, and behind the knee. And his teep kick will land, but it may need a moment or two to adapt to the thin frame of Galvez, because Galvez is a lean fighter. He can lean back and create an inch or two of space where the kick might miss. When it starts landing, Galvez will be off balance the whole fight. He won't be able to walk down Lamna Moonlek the same way he walks down most of his opponents. If you don't count his loss to Konsuk, which he avenged it at the end of the day. If you don't count it, because at the end of the day, that Lamna Moonlek took 3 rounds against Konsuk. The only reason he lost the first fight was he got dropped in one of the rounds. If you don't count that, fight right there, well, he was on a 10 fight win streak before that loss, and would be on a 12 fight win streak right now. So, anyways, Javier Galvez, I don't have his full record, but he is a long-limbed boxer with snapping kicks, and he fights like most of the Moroccan fighters we have seen in one already. It is pretty common it is a pretty common style, as Moroccans and Algerians have long limbs genetically. I know he's Spanish, but come on, he ain't Spanish. His long limbs contain intense power. If he catches, someone's calling me. If he catches a kick at the extent of its range, or if he finds the angles to attack your body with his left hook, he can really hurt you. He isn't just a headhunter targeting, he'll target all areas of the body that his range will allow him to. If he's walking you down and can't find you, he will throw some leg kicks, some body kicks, some straight punches down the middle to get you moving. And then he throws hooks to catch you when you try to escape from in front of him. So don't stay planted in front of him. That's a big thing that Lamna Moonlek will have to realize. Lamna Moonlek is not dumb. He's not going to stay planted in front of this man. A lot of this man's techniques can be easily negated by Lamna Moonlek. Lamna Moonlek doesn't slow down in 3 rounds. He actually turns up and does more as the fight goes on. The forward pressure from Javier will be negated by the leg kicks coming from Lamina Moonlek. The body will be pushed and shoved back by Lamina Moonlek's teep kicks that are insanely fast and very well timed. Lamina Moonlek is the more durable fighter, and I'd have to assume just because it's a kickboxing match does not mean it gives Javier any advantage. Any advantages. I think that Lamina Moonlek has been fighting kickboxing for a long time, and he will have, well, he's going to have the knowledge that he needs, and plus he's sharper with every move. Apart from, let's say, the end of range striking, Lamina Moonlek actually performs better with like in a lot of areas. Like his kicking game is better. His boxing could be better if he finds the inside of the distance, like if he finds the range that he wants to fight at. Nevertheless, Lamina Moonlek can get dropped. I've seen him get dropped against Kongsuk, but yeah, Lamina Moonlek is fucking good, and if he's down one round, or if he gets, like, even if he gets knocked down early, I'd assume that he can get a knockdown back, or he can come back and just fucking win, man. He's a bulldog, like, he really is a good fighter. Bout 7, we have a Muay Thai women's bout between Tang Tang and Nong Am. My prediction here is that Nong Am will win. My confidence rating is 65%. My risk assessment is mid/risk. And without further ado, let's get into it. Tang Tang, she's 21 years old. She stands at 5'1". She has 64 wins, 12 losses. We have spoken about her before here on the channel. Sorry about that. Tang Tang is an overrated Thai girl who we've never lost on in her one career. She beat Wakano, who's a Japanese bum. She beat Nong Fasai, who's also a bum. She barely beat Pinpet, who a lot of people thought actually won against Tang Tang. And her most recent win comes against Cynthia Flores, who we bet against. We bet against Cynthia Flores with Tang Tang. But after watching the fight, I will straight up say my prediction coming into that fight was so correct. I have said Tang Tang is overrated many times before the fight with Cynthia. And against Cynthia, she actually got outstruck by Cynthia. And I said, yeah, she might even get outstruck by Cynthia in the fight. Cynthia has high output, and Tang Tang's not very good at dodging either. And so if she does get outstruck by Cynthia, she might get saved by the judges because she is Thai. And guess what? At the end of the day, she got saved by the judges because she was Thai. Cynthia Flores, who's not even good in my opinion, actually outstruck and outdamaged Tang Tang. The fact that Tang Tang got outstruck and outdamaged by her, I can't trust Tang Tang at all. I can't trust Tang Tang, but the judges seem to love her. Anyways, her range is short. Her output against bums is higher than than the bums usually. Like everyone, like literally in all her fights in one, apart from against Flores, she had the high output, and against what was that other girl's name again? Pinpet. It was barely above. I don't even know if she did outstrike Pinpet. Anyways, but what was I saying? Tang Tang's power is not there. She relies on landing more strikes and making it to the distance in reality to win, whereas her opponent Nong Am can actually hurt you. Anyways, Nong Am, she's 30 years old, stands at 5'2". She has 49 wins, 6 losses. She is nicknamed String. She is a powerful Thai girl with KO power and a sniper-like hands. The only issue with Nong Am is her output. Everything else is a class from Nong Am her cross, her jab, her power, and her durability are all top tier. Inside of the one promotion, she has 1 loss to Chabak Hill, who has a record of 59 wins and 6 losses, so don't take that too badly. Anyways, in this fight, Chabak Hill outstruck Nong Am, so you cannot trust the output from Nong Am too much at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, Chabak Hill is a decent Thai fighter who has the output advantage in most of her fights. Tang Tang has been fighting less skilled opponents, whereas Nong Am has fought the likes of Francisca Vera, aka Scarface, and won a controversial fight over her. It was controversial. But I'd say I'd give the first 2 rounds maybe to Nong Am. Maybe. 3rd round, Scarface took that round. The first 2 rounds, I don't know. It's quite possible that Scarface won that fight. Last time Nong Am fought, though, I did not like how she fought. She was the more precise striker, but she was also outstruck almost 2-1 by Esther Viola, who I actually bet on in that fight, and I personally thought she did enough to win, but I knew it wouldn't go her way due to Nong Am being Thai, but she was a 3 times underdog, so I had to take her. Nong Am has the experience against the better level competition and the power in her hands to get Tang Tang on the back foot. Tang Tang sucks so fucking bad at the end of the day. Her only way to win is to strike Nong Am to a decision and hope the judges give it to her. I think Nong Am wins and I think the pressure will build up over time on Tang Tang. Tang Tang will be the back foot fighter. Her nose could easily get broke by Nong Am. Nong Am did bust up Si Shing Phobe's nose and face at the end of the day. And I watched Si Shing Phobe Low. Last fight, she quite fucking impressed me. Like, she was quite fucking impressive. And anyways, we saw her skill level when she last fought, like I said. These are women at the end of the day, so be very careful. You know, like, you can't always trust them. Nong Am might come in today on her reds or some shit like that. And she might, her strike output might not be that high, etc. Like, you never know how it's going to go. Tang Tang might outstrike her, might get to a decision. Nong Am might throw nothing. But I think Nong Am's going to throw. Like, she's not stupid. She's the veteran, and she's 30 years old. At the end of the day, she's not out of her prime yet. Her output has gone down over the years. She's not out of her prime, though. She can still win this fight, definitely, for sure. And I'm taking Nong Am. Here we have Suksawat versus Gayasit. My prediction here is Gayasit. My confidence rating is 60 to 70%. My risk assessment is that this is mid/risk. Anyways, Suksawat, he is 5'9", 25 years old, with a record of 89 wins, 44 losses. Practically a 2-to-1 ratio. He is a fighter who prefers to use the point-style approach to his matchups. He was KO'd by Panrit in round 1 by a left hand to the body that landed right underneath the elbow. Panrit is a good striker but does not have a chin. The fact I bet on Panrit in this matchup was because I knew Suksawat's hands may not even be good enough to knock out Panrit, which they were not. He did stumble Panrit at one moment and lost the fight via round 1 KO because he couldn't keep up the pressure on Panrit and was outstruck by Panrit at the end of the day. The only reason he was able to actually rock Panrit is because Panrit has no chin and his chin's been like breaking and deteriorating over the years. Anyways, Panrit came into that fight knowing he was going to win no matter what by just applying pressure early and walking down Suksawat. If Panrit can do that to you, then, well, I think Gayasit can do it to you as well. Anyways, it does not make sense to bet on Suksawat in this fight. It actually really just doesn't. He has the worst record. He has the less experience against battle-hardened competition. And when shit gets tough, he is a quitter. So that's all I'm going to say about Suksawat. I'm not even going to mention him in a positive nature. Anyways, Gayasit. Gayasit might be my underdog lock of the week. Like, I normally have an underdog that I believe in. Like, last week was Jacob Thompson. The week before it was Sirachok and Christian Lee, etc. Like, every fucking card I've got one underdog that I believe in a lot, and they often fucking hit. Gayasit will be my underdog this week, I believe. He is 5'7", 27 years old, with a record of 50 wins, 16 losses. He just lost his debut to Dazimil Osmanov in his debut. Sorry. As a huge underdog, but he performed pretty fucking decently for a huge underdog. He performed pretty well against the prospected brother of Elbrus Osmanov, landing a good amount of powerful kicks, and his boxing was competing well. Gayasit is my prediction because he also went to a decision with Shadow. He was also on a 10-fight win streak at a certain point in his career from 2016 to 2017 against some names that I know, like Lam Singh, who he beat by points. Lam Singh is the man who just won a robbery over Kazan Salamov, by the way. Gayasit has more power in each move, and he can be a durable beast. It is not easy to KO or knock him down. It's not easy to outpoint Gayasit either. Like, literally, his last KO loss was in his debut in 1 year, but that was against a fucking lethal prospect, yeah? And, since then, Gayasit hasn't been KO'd in, years. Gayasit hits hard and will harm Suksawat with each punch more than he will get hurt back at the end of the day. So I am taking Gayasit here. He is going to be my underdog lock of the week. And yeah, I'm putting big fucking money on him like I do with all my other underdogs. So do your thing, lads, innit? At the end of the day, Gayasit should be the guy that wins. 2.5, fucking lovely. 9, Naya Mohammed versus Nitikorn. My prediction here is Naya Mohammed. My confidence rating is 75%. And my risk assessment is that this fight is capped as mid, possibly safe. Naya Mohammed, anyways. Pro record of 32 wins, 9 losses, age of 17 years old, standing at 5'7". He is one of the many brothers in his fighting family, fighting inside of one. He made his debut showcasing his vicious, aggressive striking at the age of 16 against Pet Nopadet. I think I got that right. Finishing him in the first minute of round 1. He then went on to lose to Adam Sordet Japan as a 1.25 favourite in a firefight before rematching with Adam By the way, I had to hedge with Adam after watching his two brothers fight on that card. Jesus Christ. Anyways, he rematched with Adam and secured a round 2 KO victory in the second fight. He proved that he upgrades constantly in his matches. He was not rushing in the second fight and found the mark on Adam's chin many times, bleeding him a lot. His boxing was not slowing down like it did their first fight. He did not let up on the pressure. He found hooks around and through the guard, breaking down Adam's composure. He has holes in his game that show since he is young and he is wild and aggressive. He has holes in his game that are they're visible, yeah, because he's young and wild and aggressive. This leads to openings to be encountered. Plus, I did see him slow down in the first fight with Adam because he threw too much. He is the more destructive fighter out of the two men in this matchup, hunting a finish constantly against whoever he fights, but he can slow down. He did against Adam in the first fight. Cool, he showed that he upgraded in the second fight and beat the shit out of Adam in the second fight, and he didn't slow down at all, but maybe that's because he landed the better strikes at the end of the day in that second fight, and maybe he would have been on his way to slowing down in the third. I don't know. Anyways, on to Nitokon. Nitokon, he has a record of 43-13, standing at 5'4" with an age of 22 years old. He made his debut into one with a win over Chatpit Chit by decision, which is an okay win. Not the greatest opponent, but Chatpit Chit has wins over Kunsuk at the end of the day. So, that's not bad. What amazes me is how he can beat Chatpit Chit then lose to Kong Burpa, who's so stupid and shit, and he has clear signs of CTE and brain damage. Like, this man, if he went to a tattoo shop, he'd ask them to tattoo the word CTE on his brain. The thing is, I watched both his fights in one to see what the difference is in their fights. And the reason Kong Burpa won, but Chatpit Chit lost, is because Kong Burpa was not scared to step in and throw hands. Kong Burpa would get caught up by counters while rushing forward. Some right hands that looked like they were pretty fucking clean and looked like if they hit Nyan, they would give Nyan a chin test. But he is the type to throw one and done at the end of the day. He relies on single attack patterns and singular strikes with his distance management. He is too reliant on his singular striking capability, which has led him to not being able to throw more than one punch in combination on the back foot. If he does throw more than one strike, it will be a punch, then a kick. Like, it will be a cross, then a rear leg kick to follow it up. He doesn't have wild combinations inside the pocket to go toe-to-toe with Nyan. He has the one-hit punches, like I said, so he needs to snipe Nyan if he's going to knock down Nyan, like when Nyan's pressuring him. If he keeps his composure, he will probably be able to rock Nyan early or even drop him, but I trust Nyan to set the pace on Nitokon if he does fall and if he does get back up. I think Nyan put in the work to get better than Adam in their rematch, so I think at the end of the day, since both men are young, and they have plenty of time to upgrade. But both men do have plenty of time to upgrade. But Nyan, I expect to see more improvements from in a shorter amount of time. Nyan, like I said before, is more aggressive and against the composed striker. I usually do take the composed striker to win and to catch the aggressor in the chin. Like I would like in most scenarios, if it wasn't Nitokon, I would take the sniper to beat a guy like Nyan. But Nitokon does not deal with aggression well, especially if it's constant, like Nyan's aggression. It's very hard for Nitokon to get a rhythm going for his strikes when a man is throwing hooks at your face while pushing forward the whole time. So if Kong Burpa can do it, so can Nyan at the end of the day. Nitokon's output isn't as high as Nyan's, and Nyan is like a honey badger. He will stay following Nitokon. If Nitokon's not pushing him, like not punishing him for the forward pressure, then Nitokon's going to get walked down. I like Nitokon's singular strikes, but don't get it wrong, a cross can drop anyone. But since he prefers side kicks over straight kicks, I don't think that he can keep Nyan away in this little ring. I think Nyan's going to pull up on him, throw down all the output that he needs to possibly drop him, and he's definitely going to rot Nitokon once or twice. So I got Nyan to win. Nyan should be the better fighter here. Bout 10, we have a flyweight Muay Thai bout between Ihsan Noi and Pamperdej. My prediction here is Pamperdej. My confidence rating is 70%. My risk assessment is that this fight is mid. Anyways, Ihsan Noi, he has a record of 47 wins, 21 losses with a height of 5'7" and an age of 21 years old. He won as an underdog for us last fight against Focus, which to me I find ridiculous that he was an underdog. Focus is a shit fighter. Ihsan Noi KO'd him with a good left hook. That was pretty fucking easy for us. Beautiful underdog pick for us. That was actually my underdog lock of the week on that week as well. He even KO'd Chang Tong quicker than Whitaker did, but Chang Tong lost via KO to Focus outside of 1. which makes Chang Tong not very fucking good at the end of the day. The fight against Focus was not his most recent fight. He lost inside of Muay Thai 7 Colors, which is a well-known fighting promotion in Thailand, losing to a man who's quite good named PTT Tong Tawi. Tong Tawi fought some serious motherfuckers in his career though. Like he lost the Rambo Lek. He beat Suor Black and others. So you can't like disrespect Isan Noi for fighting that man. Isan Noi also fought he had 2 fights inside of one against Decho, but Decho won both. He did rock Decho in their first fight in some moments, but Decho is a beast and he won as he should have. I am hoping Panpadesh wins here, as Panpadesh is the more skilled fighter, but I'd say he has less power in his hands than Isan Noi. If I was to do maths here for this bout, let's just say outside of one, Isan Noi lost to Chatawi, who lost to Pet Pooper, who lost to Panpadesh. So that's the math right here. And these fights weren't more than 2 years ago either at the end of the day. So yeah, I got Panpadesh. Panpadesh, onto him. 56 wins, 5 losses. He's also standing at a height of 5'7", so they're even in height. He has an age of 24 years old. He is 20. What's wrong with my brain? He is 24 years old. He was also an underdog where in the last fight where we bet on him against Pet Pooper. Both men are underdogs in this. Both men were underdogs in their last fights, but yeah, they both won big money for us. But I like Panpadesh more in this matchup because he seems to be the sharper, more skilled athlete out of the 2 men. He may not be the more durable fighter, but he's never been KO'd. He uses range management well. He never throws the same thing more than once. He constantly switches up his attack pattern to stay unpredictable. His power isn't the greatest in singular punches, but if he catches you with his timing on a counter while you are off balance, he will end you. He is good at catching opponents when they enter his range, and he's quite good at slipping out the way of strikes and avoiding significant amounts of damage. I cannot say that Panpadesh will win 100%, as you know, I have this written down right now, but I just found the footage today. I couldn't find it before. He lost a fight on his record to Apiwat, but that was outside of one. And I have written down here, which if it was not a robbery loss, would absolutely make me doubt Panpadesh. But I watched the fight earlier today. It was a 5-round fight, and Panpadesh got robbed. Just how it goes. So at the end of the day, now I can take away all that fear. He is definitely better than Apiwat, so I don't have to worry about that. Anyways, I had no footage, nor could I find any at the time, but my mate sent it to me. Anyways, so Panpadesh should have beat Apiwat. I don't count that as a loss. He should be 57-5. Anyways, or 57-4. 57-4. Anyways, Panpadesh has beaten men who are so much better than Apiwat already. Which is why I couldn't trust it. Like, I knew that was probably a robbery, and I go and watch it today, and it is a robbery. I'm too good at predicting shit like that. Anyways, Panpadesh should beat Isan Noi with his technical ability and his mix-up attacks. But as always, one good punch can drop anyone. Panpadesh smoked Pet Pooper and has only been improving since then. He is great at ducking and avoiding damage. So as far as this fight goes, I'm leaning on Panpadesh. I've broken down these men before, and of course, either man can find a punishing strike that will take this win away. But when you compare everything they have, Panpadesh covers more areas and aspects of the fight. He won't play stupid with a powerful man. Against an opponent with a similar style named Sirichok, Panpadesh actually took all 3 rounds by being more active and landing more strikes, including some heavy counters that almost dropped Sirichok. Sirichok was also an underdog that we had a few weeks ago, to win for us. But anyways, in his fight with Panpadesh, apart from a welt that he gave Panpadesh in round 1 on the temple, he was outclassed. Now, the issue is, I'd say Isan Noi has fought the better opponents in his career, but he lost to them, namely Decho and Tong Tawi. So, yeah, at the end of the day, I don't know what... I don't know what I should say about that. Panpadesh is the fighter that's going to be mix-up intensive. If you don't know what a mix-up intensive is someone who doesn't throw like the same move more than once. He will mix up his strike constantly, so you can't get a read on what he's going to do. And I think Panpadesh is... I think he's technically better than Isan Noi. I think that he's going to beat Isan Noi. I'm a bit scared for him. But Panpadesh should win. 11, Conklai versus Kendu Irving. My prediction here is Conklai. My confidence rating is that this fight is 60%. My risk, I had 60 to 70 written down, but I'm going to call it 60% here. My risk assessment is that this fight is mid/risk. Konklai is, let's get into it. Konklai has a record of 80 wins, 21 losses. He is 27 years old, standing at 5'8". He is a Thai fighter with years of experience fighting prospects and the best of the best. I'll explain what I mean by the best of the best. He fought Imran Ghazaliev, right? That's the best of the best. Ain't no one can argue with me on that. We bet against him last fight with Ferrari Fairtex, who was winning 2 rounds up. And Ferrari ended up getting KO'd in the 3rd round, ruining many people's bets worldwide. But there was a lot of referee controversy in that fight. Like, if you watch the fight, yeah, the referee actually ended up standing, like, Konklai ended up walking backwards into the referee and standing on his foot. Like, the referees in one are shit. And just so you know, all of the one referees are rigged. They're corrupt. They're corrupt pieces of shit. And the worst one is that bold little French bastard named Olivier Coste. If I could, I'd smack him and I'd fucking shag his wife. Anyways, fuck him, fuck Olivier Coste, fuck all the referees, and fuck Olivier Coste's pink Nike little TNs. Anyways, sorry about ranting like that. Konklai, we have broken down this channel before. He has power in his hands, being the first man to KO the legend Seksan, aka the man who yields to no one. He fought the likes of Azadullah Imran Ghazaliev. He also lost brutally to him, but you have to respect him for taking the fight. He also lost to Otis Waghorn by elbows, and his chin has been questionable recently. I don't really trust Konklai's output or durability, but you have to understand, he's been facing absolute killers, and he's never had an easy fight. He beat the man who KO'd Bout, and we know how good Bout is. He beat the man who KO'd Bout named Dennis Demir Kapu. And he did it within 1 round. Literally, he also KO'd Ferrari Fairtex within the last fight with 1 minute left to go. Yeah. Anyways, I said that already. I have bet against Konklai more than I bet on him. I will admit that, and it's all because Konklai has never been in a scenario where you could trust him to win without doubting him. Konklai can often be losing a fight until he wins, which is very bad. He relies too much on being the guy who catches a knockdown. But I like Konklai here because he is against the very likely to be fraudulent Kendu Irving. Anyways, Kendu Irving, his record is 12-5. His last fight, he lost to Tyson Harrison, aka John Wayne Noy, who's also an inconsistent fighter, and I'd call him a bum. John Wayne Noy's a bum. I don't care who thinks Tyson isn't a bum, he is a bum, and last fight proved it to me. And I'm going to refer to Tyson as a bum from now on. I don't care how many people are fanboying over Tyson. Tyson's a bum. Parham killed Tyson's career for us like a month or 2 ago. So I guess for Tyson, it's back to depression and shooting heroin up his veins. Anyways, Kendu has a win on his record that has been taken away because his opponent was rigged to lose. Kendu also has shit durability. Getting pieced up by Tyson Harrison is fucking poor. Like, very fucking poor. Kendu's technical ability didn't even allow for him to damage Tyson at all. He barely hit Tyson, and at each time he did, he would get outstruck by Tyson. Tyson is not good. He's just a big fucking lumberjack. If you can't punch a hole through Tyson, you ain't doing it to Konklai. Konklai should just catch Kendu with one of his right hands eventually and put his lights out as the fight goes on. Kendu isn't made for 3-minute rounds. He is easy to butcher, and he slows down as the fight goes on. Kendu relies on his movement and angles to create counter strikes and start up his combinations, but his output isn't near good enough, and his power isn't near strong enough to win by finish over Konklai. I doubt his body is durable enough to survive either. I think he's going to get bricked to death in the ring, and I think he will crumble after the impact power that he feels from Konklai. I think Konklai is going to smoke Kendu, and after Konklai smokes Kendu, Kendu needs to get cut from 1. And if Konklai loses to Kendu, Konklai needs to get cut from 1. Anyways, next fight. 12, the final bout of the night. Warapon versus Julio Lobo. My prediction here is Warapon. My confidence rating is 70 to 80%, which is a lot more than I normally have for Warapon. My risk assessment is mid, possibly safe. And let's get into it. Warapon here, 68 wins, 36 losses. He is 23 years old, and he has a height of 5'6". He wasn't as good or disciplined before as he is now in his career, so he's been upgrading a lot. I am very annoyed at myself for taking him to beat men like Sona Sen twice, then taking him to lose against Kong Kula. That was a horrible fucking loss for me last time Warapon was out there. It was quite stupid of me, I admit. I shouldn't have taken Kong Kula over Warapon. I've always been very careful and very wary of men who have bad record ratios. Examples of men like this are Oorzhak and Sanit. Those two men have like a 2-to-1 record. Like they have, Sanit has almost a 3-to-1 ratio. Oorzhak has just above a 2-to-1 ratio. And I've said about these men in the past year, I was very wary of them. Like I've bet against them in the past year. And as soon as I start to believe in them, they go and lose to men that they are technically better than, and that really annoys me. Like that's the thing with the fact is when your win-loss ratio is 2-to-1, you are loose. You're used to defeat, and you're used to walking away with a loss. Like it's not as impactful to your career as like someone who has like a 4-to-1 ratio or a 5-to-1 ratio. You know what I mean? Like these people don't really give a shit if they lose as much. Like I really can't stand betting money on men, yeah, who I didn't believe in originally for me to lose, like Sirachok and Oorzhak. I knew that these men have the ability to lose their fights, and I still bet on them because I believed that their skill level was better than their opponents, and the skill level was better than their opponents, but they lost because they got knocked down. Anyways, after the death of Warapon's cousin, Warapon dedicated his match with Sonasen, the second fight, to his deceased family member, and is now on a 4-fight win streak. Quite a bit of a rampage, beating men like he's on quite a bit of a rampage, beating men like Elias Musayev, Sonasen twice, and Konkula, who he did by KO. He has visibly improved since his losses against Antar and Panrit, adapting and adding new moves to his arsenal. He can throw kicks he can throw kicks now apparently, and his boxing has improved drastically. He has power in his hands he never used to be able to unleash against fighters who will hit him from range. Like now he started to realize that in his career he can't be gun shy. Like being gun shy lost him his fight with Antar Kasem and Panrit. He no longer plays the waiting game in his fights, preferring to initiate fast forward pressure, taking the center of the ring instantly and throwing boxing combinations. If his boxing combinations miss, get dodged or met with a counter whilst he's walking forward, he clinches up immediately and he starts using knees and elbows. He can dirty box very well, and against taller opponents like Lobo, he will frame off or tie up one arm to create room to throw his hooks up top while clinching against the ropes. I think Chayan is on a roll, and I like him to win here, but his record does not impress me. His recent fights with the names that he fought are high level, but the ratio of his wins to losses makes me severely doubt him through his career. He is tougher, stronger, and more durable, probably the better fighter when the distance gets negated, and he's the one the crowd will root for in this fight. Unless he gets dropped, he will win. Anyways, Julio Lobo, he has 86 total fights, 58 wins, 26 losses, which is a 2-to-1 ratio as well. He has 36 wins by knockout, so I am a bit wary of this fight, but despite his wins, he has just above a 2-to-1 ratio, like I said, in his wins and losses. He's not much better than the state of Warapon's record at the end of the day. So he is also a complete product, and he will not be getting better than his last fight. He stands at 5'10" and is 31 years old. He, on his records, was TKO by Kulabdam, aka Left Meteorite, at the end of round 1 after being dropped twice and then TKO'd on the feet. He also lost to Super Bowl, which is not a good look, as I don't regard Super Bowl as a good fighter, or at least I don't think that Super Bowl is better than Warapon. Shit, I mean, when you look at who Super Bowl has fought, a lot of the men Super Bowl were beaten by Warapon in and outside of one. One of the big names on that list would be Elias Musayev. Super Bowl is not that great and is clearly not as good as Warapon. So, if Super Bowl can beat Lobo, so if Super Bowl can beat Lobo, so should Warapon. Like, Warapon should be able to smoke Lobo. What's wrong with me? Sorry, I can't read properly anymore. Warapon I compared to being about right below the level of Kulabdam. If Warapon loses this fight, it will be very embarrassing for his career and will make him extremely untrustworthy for the future. The pressure from Warapon should be enough to overwhelm Lobo, and if Warapon does get dropped early, I expect him to push to adversity and land a knockdown or a knockout strike. If Kulabdam can land find 2 knockdowns in one round, then I expect Warapon to find a knockdown at least once in this fight. Truthfully, I expect a knockout. Anything less will stop me from betting Warapon in the future. Warapon has to knock this man out. Like, if he can't, then what the fuck are you doing? Warapon should win.